Indeed. JKL powered by Telcom, moving with you. Now, the importance of this program tonight, with 5 days and 5 nights to go before the general election, was to give any of you who don't have that who don't feel that encouraged, that Tuesday, August the 8th, the IEBC will be ready. That's what we want to reassure you. And at the end of this night, I hope you will be reassured, because we have the youthful CEO. He's not even 40 years old, trained lawyer, and he's worked literally all around the world before he got this job as CEO of the IEBC in 2015. Ezra Chiloba, welcome to JKL.
Thank you, Jeff.
Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Again, condolences to friends, family, colleagues of Chris Msando. Let's start with him first, and then we'll go back to the IEBC.
All right.
When did you first hear the news that he was found dead?
That was about 1:15 on Monday.
Where were you? Were you in the office?
I had gone to Bomas of Kenya to have a meeting with my colleagues, senior managers, to just strategize in terms of how we get ready for the elections. And that very day, of course, I had gotten the report about his disappearance on Saturday night. So was he supposed to be at the Monday meeting? He wasn't supposed to be there on the Monday meeting, but he was supposed to be there during the testing of the technology that the exercise that we carried out today.
Right.
So he was supposed to be there, but in the afternoon. So I got a report about him missing, and I tried to get in touch with the security agencies. I did not manage until the following morning, when we happened to speak to the family members. So I called them over to the office. We worked together with the police, tried to reconstruct in terms of communication, and we were very confident that he was alive.
Yeah, that he would show up somewhere.
He will show up somewhere. The reason being that at about 3 o'clock in the morning, he had sent a text message to one of his colleagues who had lost his father, and the burial was going to be on Saturday. So informing him that he might not make it. So basically excusing himself in advance. That was at 3 o'clock in the morning. So that gave us an assurance that this person was conscious. He knew what was happening. He knew how his program was going to be the following day. Little did we know that actually by 11:30 on Saturday, his body had been deposited at the city mortuary. So that came to us as a shock. It came to us as a shock. I was at Bomas. My colleagues were there. I left in a half. Of course, they could read. The rest who watched me, they could read that something was wrong.
Right.
Chebukati, the chairman, and commissioners were having a committee meeting on electoral code of conduct. They had to abandon everything midway. So we rushed to city mortuary. And Jeff, what I saw should never happen to a human being. For men who think, and if I consider you a fellow human being, even if I hate you, you cannot do that to someone.
What did you see?
You cannot describe. He was brutally
tortured,
murdered.
Tortured. That's what the reports say. He was tortured. Okay. Some reports say that he had a hand or fingers missing. Is that true?
Jeff, I wouldn't want to explain, but what you see that he had wounds around his neck, both of his hands sliced systematically from the top to the bottom. On the other hand, it's like somebody was really operating on him for whatever purpose. It's not right to do that to a fellow human being. Yeah, so for us, we were very devastated. We still are devastated. We got a team of about 937 staff. Each one of them knew who Chris was. Chris was known within the organization, partly because of his nature and his outgoing nature. He was a great guy, was a great communicator. We say he was an official ICT spokesperson for the commission. Which he did very well. He did very well. So, yeah, we've been saddened by that, and we hope that we're going to get justice being done for Chris.
without sounding callous or insensitive, Chris's death, does that compromise your system, your electronic system?
Well, one thing that we will miss Chris, like I said, he was a great communicator when it came to issues of technology. We are deploying a very complex system, but Chris had a sharp mind to pick ideas and be able to translate them into simple language. I think that gap, we're going to feel it in the coming several months. But what I would say is that if you also look at the complexity of our systems, he was one among the many working together to deliver this election. There are 4 managers within the ICT Directorate, headed by a director, working on different areas. He was responsible for this specific project we call the Kenya Integrated Election Management System, but being supported by other colleagues. So at the end of the day, from where we sit, we in terms of the election system, we are okay. And above that, we've been working with the suppliers of the system. So it's not wholly, it wasn't committed to an individual.
Right.
But it's an organizational approach that we had over this project.
Okay, is it hackable? If there's such a word, can it be hacked?
The system?
Yes.
What we've done with this system, and given the history, and also the context in which we operate in, one of the priority issues that we've given to this particular system is to ensure that it has top-notch security. And that means that we have put in place mechanism to ensure that there is no interference. And at any given time, we have business continuity when it comes to the deployment of that particular technology. So from where we sit, I think we are secure with the system, and we do not expect any denial of service during the election.
Yeah.
Although, of course, we are concerned that there are very ingenious people out there who could attempt a lot of things.
Yes.
So the question is, what is it that we are doing on a daily basis to ensure that we are secure come the 8th?
Yeah. I mean, if the Russians could hack the U.S. elections, I mean, who are we?
I mean, you must always plan with that at the back of your mind.
Yeah.
So you must also ensure that you have backups upon backups if you have to deliver on your mandate.
Right.
That's what you've actually done.
Okay, I'll get back to the process in a moment. But first, 19 million, I love this number, 611,000.
Maybe something about Chris, because sometimes it's good to have closure on this. You've seen that we've been very consistent in terms of asking for the security agencies to be able to protect election officials.
Yes.
But I want to stretch this further. It goes all the way to citizens. If you believe in the commission, if you believe in elections, then you must make sure as an ordinary citizen that you take your part in securing and protecting the officers, the assets that the commission uses. Because if we interfere with those who are working on the election, if we don't assure them of their security, basically you end up compromising the exercise in which you've invested in so much as citizens. So this responsibility, I think, should go out to everyone out there to ensure that we are all on the same page to protect the integrity of the electoral process.
Yeah. You said you have 937 staff?
Yes. Those are the people who work at the commission on a daily basis.
After this incident, have many of them expressed that they are worried, that they are scared, that they are even hiding their badges when they walk around?
Well, they may not have said that, but they will tell you they're scared. Today in the morning I received a call. One of my officers told me she does not like the security officers who are working with her because she's not sure about them. But of course for us, we also must believe that if you have security agencies, they're there to protect you.
Yeah.
But generally, they're scared. And often it's about the people who are competing that end up threatening our officials. It happens a lot in some parts of the country.
Sure.
Every time I sit in the office, you'll get a politician coming to you asking you to transfer a particular returning officer. And we've always wondered, why do you want me to transfer the returning officer? And sometimes they'll tell you, you know, the way the politics is in our place, I don't think he's safe or she's safe. And that should be able to raise concern to the national psyche, and, you know, so that we must always know that we are there. Our job is not very easy. It's not an easy one. But we are there for the sake of the country. Yeah. So we must get some of those guarantees of security.
Sure. Ezra, let me ask you maybe an unfair question, but why do you think Chris was killed?
I have no idea. I have no idea. We're trying to understand that. Yeah. We're trying to understand that. Yeah, there are reported cases that you know, he had been threatened before, sometimes last year. And Chris had been with us for 1 year, so he was starting his second year, and 4 months, I think, into office, he reported that he had been threatened. So we do not know whether some of those threats are associated with the current situation. Right. But that is now under investigation. Yeah. We are hoping that the institutions responsible are going to do that promptly, so that we bring this matter to closure by getting facts, so that we also at peace. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Could it have been to do with Tuesday's election?
I can't tell, as I said. Really, I don't want to speculate. Yeah. And if it got nothing to do with the elections, I think whoever did that is a loser. I mean, they did not understand. Yeah. Yeah.
God rest his soul. Yeah. Okay, so Ezra, 19,611,423 registered voters.
Right.
And you printed, according to Ekuru Aukot and many others, yes, 1.2 million extra ballot papers. Makes someone want to say,
Yes. No, the issue is very simple, and Ekuru Aukot knows that. We met the presidential candidates, I think, on the 15th of June, where we're briefing them as to why we went to Al Ghurair to print ballot papers. And during that meeting, we remember vividly that we shared with them the briefing, the issues around, we shared with them the specifications around the ballot papers, how we were going to package those ballot papers, including the 1% extra ballot papers, and rounded to 50-50. They were there, so this is not new information. Now, the logic is very simple. You print ballot papers that come in a booklet of 50 pages, okay? So it means that if you do that for every polling station, I don't need 1%. You'll get a certain number. And when you do the maths, you might find that the last batch of the 50-page booklet has got only 3 papers or 3 pages. The machines, the printing machines are set in such a way that it's easier for you to complete the booklet of 50 pages as opposed to doing the 3 pages, and sometimes it could be 1 page.
Right.
So it is for easier packaging and ensuring the integrity of the ballot booklet, and that is okay with us. And as far as we're concerned, since you are able to account for every leave that you issue on the polling day, so there is nothing unusual. We've been doing this over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do with the extra papers?
Now, the 1%, the intention is that you are able to ensure that an eligible voter is able to vote, even if something has gone wrong with their ballot papers. We call them the spoiled ballot papers.
Yeah,
spoiled ballot papers. Before something will happen to the paper before you cast your ballot.
Right.
So we create room for you to go back to get a replacement. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the 1%. But for purposes of efficiency in terms of packaging, we said once you get a figure after dividing the total number of voters by 50,
right, the
last batch you round it to the next 50. I'll give you an example. 606 or 601 voters. Okay. So it means that you're likely going to have, divide by 50, you get what? You get 600 divided by 50.
12.
No.
12, 50.
Yeah, you get 12.
What do you mean no?
You get 12. Yeah, you're right.
12, 5,
you
50,
get 12.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
But you remain with how many ballots? How many pages?
So let's say
601.
Right.
You remain with one ballot.
One page out of.
Oh, yes. So that means, no, you take now 1% of 600. You get 600 and I think 60.
Oh, what's
606.
606.
Okay.
Yeah.
606.
Yeah.
So which means the last booklet will have 6 pages. So the policy is that we round it up to the nearest 50. So it makes it 656. No, 50.
50.
Yeah.
What happens to those 601? So 49.
No, not 49. So 606 out of 650, you get 44. 44 there. Now, they become part and parcel of your records. You don't have to destroy them.
Okay.
The most important thing in this is that you must be able to account for every
all
ballot
650
paper.
or whatever
exactly.
it is. Okay.
That's the most important thing. Yes. So I don't think...
And Ikuru Accord and all the other presidential candidates knew this when you briefed them?
Yes, they knew it.
And they acknowledged it?
Yes.
So why they
making
noise?
And I remember, I'm giving the exact example of 606.
Yes.
Because that was the example that we gave during that particular meeting.
So why are they making noise now?
Well, I've had a chat with him before, and if you read his statement, the last statement he issued on the subject, he actually said IBC's explanation is tenable. Okay, if you read it, it's tenable. So I think we want to assure him and the rest of the candidates that at the end of the day, the commission must be held to account. Okay.
Polls open at 6 a.m.
Yes.
Close at 5 p.m.
Yes.
If you're still in line at 5 p.m., you get to vote.
Yes.
There are not more than 700
per polling station.
Per polling station.
Right.
So basically, you should be done by day one. If all goes well, there won't be an extension, correct?
No extension is expected.
Yeah?
We don't expect to extend any voting.
Okay. Yeah. Presidential results announced where? Polling station or tallying center?
It's more complex than you mentioned. Now, voting ends at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
So that means we start counting.
Right.
And since our voting is not electronic,
it's manual.
It's manual. You know, people confuse that you know, ours is voting. It's a mix actually. Today I learned from some of the ICT people that is semi-automated.
Semi-automated. Okay.
Yeah. So we have to count the physical ballots.
Each and every one?
Each and every one.
Okay.
And now what usually happens is that the efficiency around announcing results depends on the efficiency in terms of the counting process.
Okay.
If you take longer arguing over the ballot paper whether it's marked correctly or not, it means it will take longer to announce.
Right.
But if then no disputes and people who are at the polling station, this includes the agents, are agreeable in terms of the votes cast.
Yes.
It should not take you more than 30 minutes counting each of those 700 ballots.
So let's say polling station number 1, you count the presidentials out of 700.
Right.
Okay. You tally whatever it is, and you send that number to the headquarters.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Electronically.
Okay, let me explain that. I told you it was a little bit it's a little bit complicated. So the counting happens at the polling station.
Yes.
And recently we had the Court of Appeal decision about the sanctity of the votes that are counted at the polling station. The court said that the polling station is the center or the focal point where the expression of the people's will is stressed, not any other place. So you must put in place measures that ensure that that will of the people is not interfered with. So the counting will happen in the presence of agents. The results will be filled in a form. For presidential election we have form 34A. So and all the agents present are supposed to sign, although it's not mandatory for them to sign, but they're encouraged to sign off the results of from the polling station. Okay. Now we have this new system we are calling the Kenya Integrated Election Management System. Yes. What you expect at the end of the tallying is that the results are filled in that particular form, in the kit, in the KIMS kit.
KIMS kit, yeah.
Yeah, in the manner in which they are appearing on that particular form. So they are filled, they are keyed in, the form is scanned using the same kit, and the agents are shown the data, both the text data that has been typed in, showing how candidates have performed, and compare it with the text of the form that has been scanned.
Okay.
So when they're all satisfied, the presiding officer is now required to press the button to submit the results.
Right.
And when you submit those results, they are transmitted electronically from the polling station to the constituency tallying center and to the national tallying center. And we've actually added the county tallying center. So automatically, from the polling station, without any human interference, we cannot change them at the national tallying center. The constituency returning officer cannot change those results at the constituency tallying center. Now, when it comes to the constituency, in accordance with the Court of Appeal, the responsibility of the constituency returning officer is to collect those results. How many has each candidate, how many votes has each candidate scored, gotten or received in that particular constituency? And once they collect, without changing the results as they came from the polling station, those results become final. And they'll be able to announce those results in the constituency and say, this is what candidate so-and-so has received in this particular constituency.
Okay, that's a good point, because you all have said nobody can announce any results unless it's coming from the tallying center headquarters. Now you're saying constituency level you can announce?
No, we aren't saying that unless it's coming from the national tallying center. That's not the case. The issue that is of concern is about declaration of the final outcome. What we know, and which we're actually enabling the media to do, is to access the same information that we are receiving at the National Tallying Center, at the Constituency Tallying Center. The media should be able to access that information.
And announce it?
They will not be able to announce it until the returning officer has announced those, the returning officer of the constituency has announced those results.
What if they've been SMS'd these results from some polling station out in Mashinani by some guy saying so-and-so, these are the results we have?
Now, they will not be able to actually get those SMSs. You know why?
Why?
We are giving them a dedicated line to receive the same results that the commission is receiving at the tallying center. So by the time you get your SMS, perhaps you'll be seeing the same results in your studios, analyzing it.
Yes.
So you're enabling them to have that.
So media cannot announce until the returning officer announces?
Yes, that's how it should be.
Can we project?
I think you can project. You can project, given the data. Now that you're also receiving data from what I call the granular data from the polling station, you can actually project based on that information.
Yeah.
And the idea for us is the more people are able to analyze from the same source, the better off we are in terms of securing the integrity of the process. I do not think the media's interest is to interfere with the election. No, it's to announce first. And hence is the commission. We are not interested in interfering with the election. Yeah. Perhaps people outside there, maybe competitors, will want the outcome to go in a certain way. Sure. So if we're getting information at the same time and being at the same level, I don't think there'll be any points of departure eventually. Yeah. You know, this point of announcing first is a big problem these days in the age of electronic media. Right. Everybody wants to be first. Right. And many people are wrong a lot of the time. Yes. And so we are controlling that. We are controlling that. How? Because we are giving all of them the same link, the same time. Information is coming at the same time. So there will be no fuss. There will be no fake news. There will be no fake news. And as far as the results are concerned, there should be no fake news. And by the way, my own take is that if we've given you a dedicated line, you're getting the results, it wouldn't make sense for you to go outside that particular framework, because you'll be taking a risk of getting into data that has not been validated by anyone. Yeah. Yeah. You might end up being the only person, then all other media houses are reporting something different from what you're reporting. And when we confirm, oh, you got your information from other sources, they could not be legitimate.
Yeah, and God forbid if you're wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to take a break, come back and talk to you about announcements, like for the presidential election or results.
No, actually, we needed to finalize that that issue of results from end to end.
Go on.
So the constituency level, the returning officer has announced the final results.
Yes. Okay. From that 34A?
From 34A.
Yes.
He puts together what we call Form 34B, which is a collection of all the results from the constituency polling stations.
Right.
Now, he will scan, or she will scan that Form 34B to the National Tallying Center. So the National Tallying Center will be receiving results from the 290 constituencies. And the role of the Commission, then, since the results of the presidential election as announced at the constituency are final, ours will be to collate and determine two things. That the winner of the presidential election, first of all, to determine whether there's a winner or not. And secondly, that that winner, for him or her to be declared as president, has received the threshold required under the Constitution, which is 50% plus one.
Correct.
Number one. Number two, that they've received at least 25% of the votes
from 24 counties
across the country.
25% from 24
counties. So that becomes our role at the National Tallying Center. Yeah. So it is that's how it's structured.
Okay, I want to know how soon that's going to take. 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. How soon that's going to take? And also, if I was a hacker, at what point would I hack?
I don't know.
No one, just between you and me, no one's listening.
No, I mean, I'm not a techie, but one thing I can guarantee you, we are making it so difficult for any person to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a, by the way, there's a parallel tallying center in Dar es Salaam somewhere.
Well, I don't know. It's not ours. Ours is the Bomas of Kenya.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back. Monica, poll results. Oh, you see, you're dipping, huh?
We're dipping.
We're asking you the question, is the IBC ready for the August 8th elections? 70% of you say yes. 30% of you say no. You're still up there, by the way. You're still way up there.
The last time I came here, it was the opposite.
It was the opposite.
Yeah.
Look at that. A lot of confidence in the last few months.
A lot of things.
A lot of confidence. All right. 5 days and 5 nights to go before the general election. Ezra Chiloba, CEO of the IBC, is the one on the bench today breaking things down. I hope you all who weren't feeling confident tonight feel a little bit more. Plenty more ahead. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff, at Ezra Chiloba, at Susan TV Kenya. The hashtag, as always, is JK Live. JK Live takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.